I think I'm oh, Damien down. Do 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 do.
Welcome to the third Wrestling Banter with PMDB. In these videos, I am watching a wrestling match. For the first two videos, I was watching the 1992 Royal Rumble and the 1993 Royal Rumble. I seem to fare better with the 1992 Royal Rumble, as there seemed to be more to speak about, as it was a better, much better Royal Rumble, and there's more stars involved. 1993 the 1993 Royal Rumble, which I do enjoy at parts, specifically the moments between Ric Flair and Perfect, but at times it is like a jobber rumble. Anyways, I thought we'd mix things up in this video, as the wrestling match I'm going to be watching while I make this video is going to be a casket match between WWF champion at the time, Yokozuna, the 1993 Royal Rumble winner actually, and The Undertaker. I fondly remember this match up when I was younger. So, we're going to have a wee countdown here in 3. I'm going to press X on my PlayStation 2 controller, and the match is going to begin on my television. I'll have it on mute, obviously won't see any footage from this match. It's just something I'm going to have on while I speak to you guys, make comments on the match, and talk about, wrestling, what was happening during the time, and life in general. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Grab yourself a cup of tea. Right, let's go. 3, 2, 1. And we're off. It's so weird watching stuff in silence, but I have seen this match before, not in a long time, as the Fink is about to introduce their participants of this match. Of course, you guys at home, if you're doing a watch along with me, you don't need to mute it. You can listen and hear the entrance theme. Here's the champion coming out. This used to irritate me a wee bit in wrestling when the champion would come out first before the challenger. Didn't make a lot of sense, but whatever. It's wrestling. We've got Mr. Fuji leading the way with his big Japanese flag. WWF champion Yokozuna and Jim Cornette. I used to be a Jim Cornette guy. Now I can barely tolerate him. I think he's just too full of hate. And these days I'm more a Vince Russo guy. Now that's, I'm not taking anything away from James E. Cornette. He, was great at what he did and highly entertaining, but he's just so hateful, and I don't want to. It's a bit toxic, that hateful environment he creates sometimes, and it can be too much. If he just spoke about wrestling and not be so hateful and bashing Vince Russo like he used to do all the time, or he seems to really dislike President Trump, but it's like, Jim, I'm not here for your politics. I'm here for your insightfulness on wrestling, you know. I will mention politics now and again when I feel it's the right opportunity, but I won't put it in people's face. I will joke now and again, but I won't go on about politics all the time. It gets a bit boring, to be honest. Even though I'm very passionate about what side I'm on, I don't want to spend my whole life talking about politics. As Paul Bear comes out with a casket, urn on top of it. I remember watching this as it aired on Sky. I remember watching it, and all the kids, were talking about, did you see what happened to The Undertaker? What on earth? And it's like, yeah, what on earth? I was still very young back then in 1994. I was 6 at the time, would have been watching this. And it was, because, there was a part of me that believed everything I was seeing as The Undertaker comes out behind Paul Bearer. It was that eerie feeling watching this, and the commentators, whom are Vince McMahon and the Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase, specifically the Million Dollar Man, really sold what happens following the conclusion of this matchup as The Undertaker is making his way to the ring. His hair was pretty long. I can never seem to do a video without talking about somebody's hair. Yeah, his hair was pretty long back then. I was always wondered if him and Shawn Michaels' hair was actually real. I think it was. But sometimes I'd be like, their hair seemed to grow like unnaturally quick. Or maybe that was just me. Referee for this match is Al Hebner. Yokozuna was one of the biggest superstars ever. I believe he weighed well over 500 pounds, if not over 600 pounds at one point. He's looking terrified of The Undertaker. The Royal Rumble match I may commentate on in the future. It's really good. I thought I'd mix things up a wee bit and commentate a match I haven't actually watched in a long time. And the first time I watched it was nearly 26 years ago when it first aired. I would have been at primary 2 at the time, very long time ago. Good old James E. Cornette. I always felt like this was a better opponent for Yokozuna. I always found his Bret Hart matches with Bret Hart not that great. I felt like these matches were more suited for Yoko. He was booked tremendously at the 1993 Royal Rumble, as we have a face-off here. Undertaker was often credited as being 6'10", but I think he's more maybe 6'6", 6'7" in real life. James E. Cornette looks really young here. The Undertaker's going for clotheslines, trying to knock Yokozuna off his feet. Not a big clothesline. There might be gaps in this video, as I do have a cup of tea. I need to have a drink. As Yokozuna gets knocked out to the outside through the ropes. He never went over the ropes, so if this was a Royal Rumble match, he would still be in. Yeah, he looks really big. He just did that spot where he smashed The Undertaker's head off the steel steps, and The Undertaker rose up again and scared Yokozuna just like they did at the Survivor Series 1993. You've got 3 great managers on the outside as The Undertaker aims to deliver old school on Yokozuna. Will he get it? Yeah, we've got 3 great managers on the outside. Paul Bearer, who really elevated the Undertaker character and really is great in this match as the Undertaker misses a flying clothesline effort. Not really sure what happened there. Yokozuna's going for a chair. Of course, there's no disqualifications in these type of matches, casket matches. Big smack across the back with a chair and an unprotected chair shot delivered by The Undertaker to Yokozuna as the Yokozuna is knocked off his feet. The crowd seemed to be really into this match. Well, I will say, throughout this entire show, the commentating by the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, in my opinion, is fantastic. I wish he commentated more events. He was retired from in-ring activity by this point. As Yokozuna just threw salt in the Undertaker's eyes, and Undertaker's it's like turning into a bit of a comedy here, swinging, or was swinging there. As Yokozuna grabs the chair, big whack across the Undertaker's back as the Undertaker goes down. There's a guy in the crowd really getting upset about it. Nice shirt. Yeah, a couple of marks in the crowd. Wow, that chair shot Yokozuna just delivered looked pretty stiff. It was very close to the steel steps as well. Big headbutt to the Undertaker as he bounces the Undertaker off the steel steps again. 2 times, 3 times. It's a big casket. So yeah, Mr. Fuji, one of the classic managers too. He used to manage my favorite tag team of all time, Demolition. He also managed the Powers of Pain. And then we have, of course, as I mentioned earlier, James E. Cornette, the Cornette Experience. He looks so different here. Look-wise, he looks happy. He doesn't look like the angry James E. Cornette we're all used to now. As Yokozuna is rolling the Undertaker into the casket. Is this going to be the end of the match? I highly doubt it. Of course, I know what happens in the match. As Yokozuna has been grabbed by the foot, is about to be taken down. Or maybe not. Right. Little hand there to Yokozuna. They're trading blows back and forth. What was PMDB up to in 1994? I was unemployed as Yokozuna gives the Undertaker a belly-to-belly suplex. As the Undertaker sits up like Michael Myers and grabs Yokozuna's neck. I was only 6 at the time. Primary 2, Fernley. That was an awful chokeslam from the Undertaker to Yokozuna. I remember getting my nickname at school for later on in primary 3. Believe it or not, as the Undertaker delivers a pretty decent DDT, much better than the god-awful chokeslam. I was called Brainy back in my childhood. I don't know why. I wish I were. Also rhymed in my name, Bane. And I guess other kids at school thought it was clever at the time. The Undertaker signals to lift the casket up, and he's about to try and put Yokozuna in it. Now I believe this is where all the wrestlers start to come out and prevent the Undertaker from winning, because the Undertaker, Yokozuna's done after that DDT. Undertaker's about to slam shut the casket, but of course is interrupted by Crush, who is now a heel again. Now Crush was in the Royal Rumble later on in the show, and I thought he put on a solid performance. The Undertaker battles back, knocks Crush down. This is a fun match because of all the shenanigans that go on after it. It does get ridiculous. It really puts the Undertaker over strong as another wrestler runs in. Japanese wrestler. I'm not sure. I can't remember his name. I know there's another Japanese guy wrestler running in, and that's Tenryu. Love a bit of Tenryu. The name of the other guy escapes me right now as both get knocked down. Big clotheslines. Or one big clothesline rattler. Now we have Bam Bam Bigelow in the ring. Now he was definitely one of the best big guy performers, and he really puts on a fantastic performance in the Royal Rumble later on, as the Undertaker is getting ganged up here by 5 wrestlers, not just any 5 wrestlers. You've got Bigelow, Crush, Tenryu, and this other Japanese wrestler I'm not too familiar with. And then now Mr. Fuji's got the urn, and he's laughing about it. Paul Bear's not looking too good, as now they're trying to put the Undertaker in the casket. This is games. As much as I'm in... Oh, there's Paul Bear's rushing to the scene. Big boot, big kick, knocks down Mr. Fuji with the urn, and also knocks down Jim Cornette as he tries to revive the Undertaker, whom is still being ganged up here. Forget how ginger the Undertaker was. I think he dyed his hair a lot in the later years. I was ginger once for a day. Now I've got hair about the same length as his. There's my mentioning hair again. The Undertaker's fighting back. And it does really put the Undertaker over as Adam Bomb comes in. And Bigelow's just knocked down, crushed by accident. With whatever that is. I'm not sure what they've got there. Bigelow just got knocked down through the ropes as Double J Jeff Jarrett comes in. And doesn't do much of a effect to the Undertaker. But as much as this has put the Undertaker over as this, unstoppable force, it's really making the other wrestlers look a bit shit in comparison. As the Yokozuna is coming back into it, now we've got the Head Shrinkers. Both the Head Shrinkers are in the ring. Adam Bomb, double super kick to the Undertaker. Now this is quite fun. This is fun because it's oh me. They're about to deliver all their finishing moves. Paul Bear's trying to sneak back into the ring. Well, he gets caught soon. The Undertaker sat up. And he's fighting back again. He's fighting back. The Undertaker would be... this would be him written off until SummerSlam 1994. As Kevin Nash waltzes to the ring. What a Royal Rumble he would go on to have, Kevin Nash. He would be very dominant in the actual Royal Rumble match, going over very strong. And then a year after that, he would really dominate 1995. The soon-to-be 2-time Hall of Famer, The Undertaker's rose up again from the casket, striking everything that moves. Where's Kevin Nash going? He's out the ring. Oh, here's Nash. Big double axe handle. Why was Shawn Michaels not getting involved in this? As the Yokozuna's now got the urn, knocks down Paul Bear. Poor Paul. And now Yokozuna has the urn. This is not looking good for the Undertaker. Boom. And then this, when Yokozuna opens the urn, and out comes the smoke of the urn. This was really like dramatic viewing as a kid, because we've never seen the urn open before, or open before much, and it was quite the effect when you seen it open and all the smoke coming out, because for years as the wrestlers performed some of their top moves on the Undertaker, You'd be wondering what on earth's inside that urn. As Diesel drops a big elbow, Bam Bam Bigelow's away, deliver a Dynamite Kid style headbutt. Looked pretty good. As the head shrinkers now are ready to deliver a big splash. And I think this is just about it for The Undertaker. Well, they're delivering another big splash. Is there a need for this now? Now, 994, I feel like was an underappreciated year. Sure, business was down, but there was a lot of decent, like every pay-per-view in 994 was ranged from good to great, in my opinion. And this was a fun show throughout this match. The Royal Rumble match was solid, with a memorable ending, as The Undertaker's being literally kicked to the curb. Now, unlike the Royal Rumbles, I'm not just going to end after the match is done, because it's really the most memorable part of the match is when the match is done and then the aftermath. So I'll continue commentating while The Undertaker gets kicked into the casket and it's all over. Yokozuna is still the WWF champion. Now they're padlocking the casket. What is it with Undertaker and caskets at Royal Rumbles? Just 4 years later, the same would happen against Shawn Michaels in a casket match. Shawn Michaels' buddy Kevin Nash is out there now. So the Yokozuna is victorious. And this is the part I really remember as a kid. This was like a goosebump moment. And the $1 Million Man in commentary really sells it as like something paranormal is happening. As the lights go out soon, as the wrestlers, I think the Undertaker is actually still in there. And then on the Titantron we get a pre-recorded video of the Undertaker waking up as he after all these years. I'm not really sure what the WWF was aiming for. I remember Jim Cornette talking about it in a shoot interview, saying this basically exposed the business. Like, if you didn't know WWF was fake by 1994, you do now. The lights are flickering on and off. I love all. I wish I could hear it again. We got a shot of the Undertaker and a Titantron about to wake up. See, I guess this was the end of the zombie Undertaker, which I really loved. I loved the earlier version of the Undertaker the best, actually. Him and Paul Bearer were magic together. So we've got Undertaker cutting a promo in a casket, and then there's some electricity happens and smoke, and then like a smoke image of the Undertaker then rises from the Titantron. It's all a bit strange. I think there's a stunt double that rises to the top of the arena. And a lot of rumors going around it was Marty Jannetty was Undertaker's stunt double here. But I think that was fake news. Remember this like it was yesterday. I will not rest in peace. And he was true to his word, because he would return to the World Wrestling Federation at SummerSlam. But as much nonsense as this was back then and looks now, this is what I want from my wrestling. Silliness, great characters, larger than life characters, some good wrestling matches thrown in between, but it really is, for me, all about the characters and the stories you can tell in this ridiculous world of fantasy. As the Undertaker's rising up to wherever he's rising up to, God only knows what WWF were doing with this whole segment. As the match comes to a close. I'd give this match, if I have to do a Dave Meltzer and I would say this is a definite 3 stars out of 5 because it's so memorable. And there was no big flaws in the match. It was a rather quick match, but it was very memorable with two, great legend wrestling character, The Undertaker, and an unstoppable like wrestler in Yokozuna. My one nitpick with Yokozuna's run here as WWF champion, I think they should have booked him stronger. I think they booked him far too weak towards the end of his title run. I think he should have went on a run just really dominating for a good year before dropping the strap. As Paul Bear is holding up the urn up and down, he's all excited that the Undertaker has risen from the dead in brackets. But it wouldn't be until SummerSlam that we would see the Undertaker again, where he would go up against a fake Undertaker that was managed by the guy that's commentating, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, as we got close up on the urn. Paul Bear was in the wars in this match. I always love the facials Paul Bear pulled during some of these matches. Now we've got a wee promo from the Macho Man, and that is it. So, not sure what wrestling match I'll commentate on next, but if you enjoy these type of videos, let me know what wrestling match I should commentate over next, where I commentate on what's going on, but also talk about anything in general. Right? Take care, folks.